one. Mother and father and daughter and son. We gonna learn and plus have fun. Yes indeed, the time has come. Reach out to your neighbor, do something nice, return the favor. It's all good, we all get along. Clap your hands and sing along to the song. Young people, you ain't gotta do wrong. We can all do right, come on.
Just to make you think ahead, battle mind to mind, make you not be left behind. I put us all together, teach you face to the chest, where you learn your piece of movements, out of your stress. Chess.
The Rooks. They are the border guard protection for the king. They can move horizontally, vertically, forward and backwards to protect him. For the person being bullied, the Rooks are his support groups. This is their story.
I'm going to tell you, I'm starting now.
Okay, come on.
As Vicky said, it's a safe haven because one, the cool people aren't here, the bullies, and everybody, we're all in unison, getting all of our books and stuff, and we're, the books here, I believe, are an escape from reality. You could simply read a book, and this book has to be like your awesome favorite book. Myself in graphic novels. And just imagine you're there. Though life will most likely not have you being a superhero, dying and then coming back to life. I believe that it's going to be able to help you get through the hard times that you're going through right now.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Sandy Arcanti Atanasoff, and I'm the Coordinator of Pupil Services for Danbury Public Schools. And I have with me today Dr. Dawn Ballard, school psychologist at the Endeavor Alternative Middle School Program. Anti-bullying initiatives in schools. And as I circulate around Danbury Public Schools and the elementary and middle schools, I see the key people in those schools who I view as social workers, school psychologists, counselors that are really tackling this problem by creating innovative lessons, by doing school-wide initiatives, by making the anti-bullying message an embedded piece of the curriculum throughout the day, so that it's not just something that counselors do at noon in a lunch bunch, but that it's something that your social studies teacher will also reinforce to kids in his classroom. So the awareness is there, and I'm glad that we're certainly moving in this direction.
And if you know that they've tried. I mean, we don't blame any of Brittany's friends that kept this secret, because they were kids themselves.
Right.
And it's 1-800-273-TALK. Call somebody. There's all kinds of hotlines out there. It's anonymous. It's 24/7. So many, Lady Gaga has started a foundation, Born This Way. I spoke about labels at the beginning. Brittany hated to be labeled. And even now, through her death, she's being labeled by her manner of death, not who she was. People are defining Brittany, oh, that's the girl who killed herself. When I look at it, as devastating as it is, the manner of her death, the many people that are now aware and have made a choice to live instead of die. That it's okay to talk, it's okay to share.
And I think that if you don't have parents that you feel like you can go to, I mean, not everyone's parents are tricky and run, but then I feel like you need to try to find someone that you can trust, someone who can help you. And I think also going back to the technology thing, I work at the Suicide Prevention Center where I go to school, in Ithaca College, and they've noticed like a decrease in calls like within the last several years because people are used to talk on the phone less and less, like they're more like texting or like online.
Yes.
So they like started to kind of like shift that kind of like counseling. So they're going towards like text messaging, like counseling over text messages, and like online, like instant chat. So I think there are still outlets, there's still ways for people to turn to.
I actually talked to Write Love on Her Arms. They have a lot of people 24/7. They got back to me right away, and it was one of the nights that I was actually thinking of doing something, and they automatically just got back to me and
And that
showed
helped.
like a little bit of hope.
And is that a national thing, or was it something just local at your
Write Love
school?
on Her Arms? No, it's national.
Are there any other organizations like that you feel people should know about as
Yeah, that's-
options?
This suicide hotline is 1-800-TALK, which is 1-800-273-8255. That's bad. I know that number by heart. It's a suicide prevention hotline, and if that person on the line can't help you, they will get you to an outlet that will help you. And now Facebook and a lot of the social medias have a lot of different suicide prevention, bullying, to where you can report that, hey, I'm being bullied. And the law enforcement are involved because they're finally realizing that this is a problem.
Is there a Facebook page or a foundation or anything that's set up in her honor that?
Yes, it is Brittany Hilton Memorial Foundation,
Yeah,
Inc.
at behealth.com.
And there's a website, behealth.com. But there's also Lady Gaga's Born This Way. That site is now up and operational. Olivia, what other sites are there?
Sites for
kids to go, to talk.
they're like very specific, like I know for like LGBT bullying, there's the Trevor Project, there's a website there, and that also has like a phone line and also like the online kind of counseling. So Write Love in Her Arms has their own website, twoha.com. And also I feel like it's really, especially now in the days of technology, it's really easy to find sites like that because they all kind of like talk to each other and kind of relate, like either on Facebook or Twitter. So it's really easy to find resources.
I mean, we never thought we would have a website in our daughter's memory.
You always hear about it, but you never think it could happen to you.
Well, thank you very
How technology has changed and has compounded, I think,
It's much easier to get
for kids to
someone.
bully on social forums, on
Facebook's a good one.
Yeah, Facebook is a good one. On cell phones, Brittany received many messages from different people if she would befriend some guy and his girlfriend would find out, because Brittany was loved by everybody and they would send nasty grams to her. And I think technology has really compounded the ease of being able to bully. Instead of, like when we were growing up, it was bully to your face. Now it's bullying over the internet.
It's much easier to bully now because you're not standing in front of somebody's face.
So because you're hiding behind technology, it's easier to be
It's
mean.
easier to be a bully.
It's easier to stand up and talk when you're not
Cell
in front of
phone,
their
internet,
face.
emails.
Would you kids agree?
Yeah.
I think like you don't even really need to know the person completely. Like there's just so many different like outlets now. Like there's Facebook, there's Twitter. Like I have a Tumblr, and I like know people that receive like hate messages from people that they don't even know, and you can just go completely anonymous. So you can be bullied by just a nameless gray face. You have no idea.
Yeah, that's true. Because even when we were kids, like you said, you get bullied at school, you go home, it's done.
It's done.
You have a safe place to be.
And now you don't have a safe place. And, a lot of kids, they don't understand, like I was saying, that you calling somebody short or calling somebody skinny or freckle face, your words affect the feelings, because you don't know what that person's going through or what they're feeling. And with technology, you no longer have a safe haven because they can get to you through your cell phone, through the computer, through the mail, through anything.
And I feel like there's like ways you can like try to block that thing, but I think there's always ways to get around it some way or another.
We know that, don't we? Firsthand.
What are some of the ways?
What,
that
to
you've-
block?
Yeah.
You can grab somebody's IP address and block it. However, in today's technology, you can actually go on a different IP address, and it's called an IP proxy, and get around it. And that is what these people have learned in today's technology, is they're going around it. Even you can block somebody from here to Hong Kong and back, and they're still able to come in a back door. And
Yes, because they could have a rotating IP.
exactly.
So.
And I will say that technology is playing a big part in compounding the bullying and increasing suicide. I mean, there's good things about technology. It has allowed us to get the message out through Be Helped Foundation, be able to connect with other foundations to bring awareness to suicide. But even as we're bringing awareness to suicide, it is increasing because of the technology. It's a vicious cycle.
Now, do you think it's the responsibility of the caretakers of these kids to limit their access to technology? Or do you think it's really difficult because of just how much technology is part of our lives? So you kind of
really depends on if the kids come forward, because I know my sister was constantly getting bullied, and it was only a quarter of the time that she'd actually come forward and say, hey. And parents can't really stop it if they don't know. The kids have to speak out. People have to speak out and ask for help to stop it. It's very hard to stop on your own.
And limiting, like you had said, we did limit her access. I thought we were pretty good at that. Olivia could attest to this for the many years that she was with Brittany since the second grade. When Facebook first came out and MySpace, we absolutely forbid her to be on any of those. But kids find a way around it, you know, and
I think that, I mean, like, not to be, like, kind of, like, rude, but, like, kids do know more in general about, like, ways of, like, getting around that kind of thing, like, technology in general, so I think I mean, my mom never really wanted me to, you know, get into social media, and I did wait until I was probably 16 until I really got into it, but, I mean, I was able to do things without her knowing because she respected my privacy.
Now, obviously, Brittany was.
Chess helps you
Make the right
Moves.
All right, well, I'm sitting here with Vicky Mayfield Camacho. She's the executive producer of Neighbors and the creator of the chess song and the dance. Could you do a little piece of the dance for me? I forget how it goes.
The pawn moves first, baby, you got it. One square straightforward, you know you got it. It catches by moving diagonally. Just protect the king, just protect the king, just protect the king.
Very good, thank you, Vicky.
Good segue, go ahead.
Now, as we know, the chess song is designed to teach kids the basics of chess,
Yes.
so they can use that skill set and thinking ahead of their decisions to make sure that they think everything through correctly.
Yes.
And with bullying, it's really important that kids do that. They stop and they understand what are the consequences of me doing this action. You know, if I'm an instigator, I'm trying to bully you, why? You know, should I have to stop and think, what am I going to get from it? What are the rewards that I'm going to get from it for it, and things like that. And ultimately, it's nothing. You just become a bully.
The history of chess, specifically that of Western chess, is about 1,500 years long and originated from India during the 6th century AD. It then moved to Persia, the Muslim world, and then finally Europe. In Europe, chess developed its current form during the 15th century AD. In the second half of the 19th century, modern tournament play began, and the first World Chess Championship was held in 1886. The 20th century saw great leaps forward in chess theory and the establishment of the World Chess Federation. Developments in the 21st century include the employment of computers for analysis, team consultations, and online gaming.
I think that's our take.
The next pieces would be the rooks. They can move. They're very useful, but they're kind of stuck at the beginning. It'll take a while for you to be able to move them.
Okay.
They go on the corners.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's why the rook, the history of the rook, from what I learned, is a castle.
Okay.
So as you're saying now, they're stuck at the corner.
For a
Now
while.
I understand. For a while.
They're very useful once you get them out, but they're hard to take out.
Okay.
They're kind of stuck.
I'm going to start with the rook, and the reason I start with the rook is because it's one of the simple pieces, and I like to break them down one piece at a time. The rook moves vertically, which is up and down, and horizontally, which is side to side, okay? He can go one space at a time, or he can go all the way across the board, okay? And it goes the same way vertically. So that is the rook.
What's your favorite chess piece and why?
I would have to go with the rook. And it's kind of it's almost a tie between the rook and the knight. And I'll tell you why. The rook I love because he moves across the board vertically and horizontally, but also because he kind of comes out of nowhere sometimes. He can be at the opposite end of the board and attack a piece without anybody even really noticing. And he's also an excellent tool to get the king in checkmate.
The rook moves horizontal and vertically, forward and backwards, if you please. It must be an empty square in between to capture the enemy. Capture the enemy. Capture the enemy. Capture the enemy. 1 king, 1 queen, 2 bishops, 2 rooks, 2 knights, 2 players, 8 pawns, 1 board.
We're recording, so.
What a great opportunity to talk about the various assets that children need to both get over the concerns that come to them with bullying situations, where bullies are coming at them and they need to defend themselves, but on the other hand, how to learn if one has started being a bully themselves, how to learn to overcome that and to kind of reestablish their own personal humanity. We all have assets to give them. There's a number of things that kids need. They need to know that adults around them also have their best interests at heart. Lots of neighborhoods have gone through changes. If you talk to some of the old timers in my neighborhood here in Byram, they will tell you all the stories about how they never were able to get away with anything. If they were messing around down the street outside of their front yard, there was always a neighbor there. Or there was always even another family member there, an uncle or an aunt or other cousins that were older that were keeping an eye on them, to say nothing of folks beyond that. But I've also heard stories about how the pastors would do the same thing. How when they were supposed to be in class, or when they were supposed to be in confirmation class, or when they were supposed to be at church, sometimes they would stop the whole business and head on down to Byram Shore and grab those kids by the hand and say, hey, you're not where you're supposed to be. But that was all to the good. That was all to let folks know that we were all in this together, and that we were all on the same page, that we were all pulling ourselves together to be a neighborhood. It's kind of
Just making sure you're up. 5 more minutes. Becca, let's go. Say cheese. Perfect.
That was so cheap. Oh my god. Oh my
god. Amanda, stop. She's done nothing to you. Get out of here. Go. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
one, teach one. Mother and father and daughter and son. We gonna learn and plus have fun. Yes indeed, the time has come. Reach out to your neighbor, do something nice, return the favor. It's all good, we all get along. Clap your hands and sing along to the song. Young people, you ain't gotta do wrong. We can all do right, come on.